I'm Viri Prabhakar from University of Hyderabad. I'm doing my PhD in Applied Linguistics. I'm presenting this topic along with my supervisor, Dr. Parmeshwar Krishnamurthy. So, language is generally used for communication purposes. But besides this, it has an economic side. So, what is that economic side? We are going to explore in this paper. Language is a tool in economic activity. So, to perform any economic activity, we need some knowledge. And knowledge is the basis of all activity, as we all know. But language is the basis of knowledge. Hence, language can be used as a tool, like any other machinery or any other instrument. Language is also used as a tool in economic activity. Language is not only social, but deeply rooted in society, in the practice of economic activity. This is by Professor Uma Maheshwar Rao sir, who actually presented the entire language and economy work in the keynote address that you might have all seen. And this establishes the relationship between language and economy, as the use of language plays a significant role in economic activity and generates a great deal of production. So what is it, linguistic capital? Are you all aware of the term or the word capital, right? Capital is, in economic terms, money or any form of asset that we actually put for investment for the productivity, isn't it? So, linguistic capital actually refers to the use of language at a worksite or language skills of an individual or workforce can be considered as linguistic capital. So, any individual, whoever it is, they possess some language skills, and the entire workforce also may know various languages. So, altogether, actually gives or contributes to the linguistic capital to the work that he is working for, to the website that he is working for. And language is used as a commodity in economic activity at work sites. Linguistic capital, as I just earlier mentioned, we have to see it in two ways. So, linguistic capital means an individual or any group of people possess some linguistic skills. On the other hand, we have fines or the authorities of any website. They invest certain amount of money on some language or information material. Yeah, that can be also considered as form of linguistic capital. Okay, they invest in language used for various purposes in economic activity concerned with production. As you see here, I visited a website which is located in Telangana state. There, all work instructions and safety instructions are given in their native language of the workers. As you see here, some Vakshana Pratigna, and some instructions are in English, and most of the instructions are, as you see here, in Telugu. And some instructions are represented in images. Also, some work instructions are teaching materials also given in the native languages. Yeah? In the left side of the screen you see Telugu instructions, and on the right side you see English instructions as well. So this data actually collected from Singareni College located in Telangana state, one of the major industries that contributes to the gross domestic product of India. So, questionnaire and face-to-face interviews were used to collect the language data from 400 workforce in the industry, and the information materials used by industry of for various purposes. This is a data set that I collected from the Worksite. I see here, I have divided the entire workforce into three groups. A language with superiors and partners, as well as subordinates, three groups. So, what the language they speak, language with superordinate, language with subordinate, LP means LSD means language with subordinate, and correspondingly the language they use to each of the workers, each of the authority or whatever, whoever it is they speak to, the choice of language and to whom they use. So Telugu language actually used more in LSP, language with superordinate, and in everywhere, in every with superiors and the partners as well as subordinates, everywhere the choice of language is Telugu, as you see here, 69.7% and 76.7%, 80.7%, everywhere it is used. And most of the people they claim Hindi, but some people, only very few people, they use they claim as Hindi language. So Hindi is very less, 1.0%, 0.08%, and language with subordinates only 0.5%. And English is only confined to 2.5% with LSP, language with subordinates. Only the employees who speak to their subordinates are just confined with 2.5% of English. And you see the drastic change here. Sorry. The drastic change can be observed here. Language with partners. Even though the higher authorities among themselves, when they speak to each other, they speak their native language. So the percentage is very low, 0.3%. And the language with subordinates is only 0.8%. I think I must, yeah. Can you see it better now? Yeah. Likewise, Urdu is confined to 0.03%. And Telugu, there are some bilinguals who use Telugu, their native language, along with English, 9.8%. And likewise, we have some multilingual also. So in total, in general, Telugu is used more in all layers of workers. That can be represented in this graph. As you see here, blue represents language with superordinate, and the orange indicates language with partners, and LSB, language with subordinate, is represented in gray color. So Telugu language, if I see this gray arrow mark is going up. So Telugu is used more with language with subordinate. So employees who speak to their subordinates, they use more Telugu, and just language with partners is little lower than the language with subordinates. And English, Telugu is very less compared to the language with partners and language with subordinates. And as you see here, it suddenly goes down. Telugu, Hindi is very less used here, and only in combination with some other languages, they use Telugu, English. There we see Telugu representation also there. Okay, and the choice of language also associated with the literacy rate or the literacy, and people who are educated, post post-graduation, whoever did their post-graduation, they use very less English. They use very less English. They prefer English rather. And the undergraduates, and if you see here, 14% is being used. Overall, 69.7% will be being used with subordinates. And in partners also, we see Telugu being used 76.7%. And as we go down, if you see subordinates and Telugu being used 80.7%, which means lower class or lower strata of employees, they use more their native language. Yeah. Even in literacy rate also, illiterates and primary education people, primary education educated workers and secondary workers, they use Telugu more than the postgraduates and graduates. And English is confined most of the time with postgraduates. As you see here, graduates 0.8% and 0.3%. You find nowhere in literacy and primary education and secondary education people. It is only concerned with graduates and postgraduates. Yeah.
Prabhakarji, you have 2 more minutes to finish your presentation.
Okay, sir, I conclude. Yeah, this is the overall language used at the website if I were to present in graph. So Telugu is being used more than 86% and English is used only 8% and Hindi is very less percent, 7%, and some local language, Lambadi and Urdu also is being used over there. So the conclusion is the native languages play a vital role in coordinating the entire workforce. Language is just not only for communication purpose, it actually coordinates the entire workforce, which is very essential for any website. Yeah, it actually transforms work from policy to the production. So that is the main role the language that plays in the website. And native languages are widely used in various ways in the industry. Therefore, they contribute to the healthy state of production and provide a safe environment for the workers in the industry. So, use of native languages in any website, it actually not only for just economic activities, but it also provides a safe environment. It is also crucial for any website. That is one of the important roles that native languages play. And therefore, native languages is a form of capital which contributes to production of website, production of the industry and the country's gross domestic product. So this company, especially the coal mine industry, which is located in Telangana state, actually contributes 8% to the Indian GDP. So if I take that industry as a whole and languages being used over there, only native languages more than 90% contributing to the Indian GDP. So therefore, I suppose that Indian languages contribute more to the Indian GDP. So our languages are very essential to be used in the new economic domain. So this is what my reflection on this topic. Thank you so much.
Prabhakar, I have kind of clarity that I was seeking from you. How much of the GDP of the Singarani collieries corresponds with the percentages of the native languages of the workforce? That is my question. Because I have not been able to see these figures. Can you corroborate with your comment on this one? Here, of course, yes.
So Telugu language actually contributes more than any other language, which is also a local language, at 82.50%. And the Hindi is
these are figures of the language of the worksite for the native speakers. But what percentage of GDP corresponds to these figures?
GDP,
In the sense, the production of the Singareni calories annually in terms of economic value, how much of that percentage corresponds to these percentages? That would be very interesting.
true, sir. So basically, the share of the Indian GDP from sovereign economies is 8%, but officially they didn't provide any language specific data for the contribution of the GDP. But we are actually collecting the empirical evidence. We are actually proposing that okay, these many languages are used mostly. So these percentage of native languages more than the English. Just hypothesis and
So that is interesting. We know that one. By these percentages, of course, there are more Indian language users in the work site. But what is interesting would be how much of the value that is actually turnout by the Singareni Calories work corresponds to these figures. That would be very interesting.
yes, I will.
Did you get my point?
I'm getting it.
Yeah, see what I'm trying. There must be other economic figures. Okay, the Singareni calories production has certain value every year, and they say that one this is our production value, right? Now that production value, how much of that corresponds to each of these languages is my question. So
Yeah,
if that is known, yeah.
Yes, sir. Based on the sample data I collected, it is only for 10% of the sample I have collected.
Mm-hmm.
So, all attribute to the entire thing. So, maybe these figures can be attributed the percentage of use of language and the share in the economic contribution.
Okay, so roughly you have certain percentages. So similarly, you can also have a very rough percentages of the economic value. It is obtained as a turnout every year, right? Now you can show the correspondences. Okay, that's probably you can do it.
I can show you.
Yeah.
Just a minute.
Okay, I had certain observations. It's
Thank
just
you.
along the line of Professor Rao. Okay, so Mr. Prabhakar, you have talked about capital. One second, it's my observation. Okay, I'm not raising any question here. Okay, so I will just request you to think over these issues. Okay, so the thing is that you have talked about the capital. But what seems to me that language is not a very monolithic kind of concept. The way the capital is. Okay. So language can be a commodity. Language can even be a currency. Okay. So you can purchase the language, and if you have the language as a currency with you, you can actually ensure promotions. You can get several other things in your life. Okay. So in workplace, when you are actually trying to look at the language, you also need to keep these particular dimensions in mind. Okay, because what I have noticed in our places and in several other places that yes, native language is fine. Okay, but it actually helps the system to run. Okay, but at the same time, if you do not manage to speak in the language of the institutes, you will never be able to attend certain things in the institutional practice. So this is the first observation. And second observation, GDP is fine, but GDP doesn't mean that you have high GDP that will ensure the good life for all. Okay. So in one such work, while going through the so Professor Rao was also trying to actually indicate certain things that you need not to actually concentrate on the use of language and the capital. You also need to actually incorporate certain other things. Like just try to look at what type of correspondences you can see if you compare Human Development Index and the Linguistic Diversity Index. Why I am saying this one? Yeah, I am saying this one because of certain reasons. Because in one such recent work, I have noticed that interestingly, Human Development Index is high in all those countries, including the so-called quote-unquote socialist and communist countries where language diversities are less or controlled. Even in case of SARC also, you will notice that in case of Bangladesh and as well as in Sri Lanka, okay, they often used to claim that their linguistic diversity is low, and that is the reason why they have higher human development index. Okay, so when you are actually dealing with the GDP, also please keep all those things in your mind. Thank you once again for picking up such a bold and new topic, and I wish you a success.